think it likes it. The kids like stories, like you say. They're not bothered if it's not true or anything.
Or if you walk away before the ending because you've forgotten it.
That's
Brilliant.
why it's not blinking. It's so dumbstruck at the idiocy coming out of your gob.
No, but you don't need to hear endings of stories. Maybe, like I said
That's
to
the
you.
point. That's the point of a story, isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
That's the point why people. That's why people like stories, because they're hooked into knowing what happened.
No, because there's loads of films that happen and they have a funny ending. You leave there going, I wonder what was meant to happen. And then you make it up in your own head. You go, well, I bet what happened is that person went off and got married to that woman, and they lived happily.
And then in your head, it's the truth. It's actually what happened.
But I think that's better. Why are we told everything? Because
So what would your end be to a story such as The Elephant Man? Okay, he's rescued from the freak show, he's put in the hospital, he becomes something of a celebrity, then what happens?
He discovered he had big ears and he could fly, and he joined the circus and he was the main attraction.
I wouldn't change the end that much, because at the end of the day, you can't make something up that's not believable. At the end of the day, he's got an head like an elephant. He's not going to have a good life, is he? So there's no point making out that he went on, loads of women fancied him, and he modelled hats. It's not going to happen. so he's got to die. The Elephant Man had to die, but at the same time,
Was shot by poachers.
show
for his tusks.
Show a few positives. Because I'm sure there was good bits in his life. I don't know what they were, but, look at everything.
What was he like when he was a little baby elephant?
They didn't cover what he was like as a kid. But you can get away with them sort of looks when you're a baby. You can be an ugly baby and everyone goes, oh, isn't it nice? There was some woman in a cafe the other week that I was sat in, and she came up and she sat down with a mate and she was talking loudly, going on about, oh, the baby's lovely. They said it's got lovely big eyes, really big hands and feet. Now that doesn't sound like a nice baby to me. I felt like saying it sounds like a frog, but I thought, I don't know her. There's only so much you can say to a stranger. I don't know what kept me from saying it. That's what I was saying before about there's something.
It sounds like a frog.
There's something inside of you that stops you.
Yeah, that's amazing that you had the urge to go, that doesn't sound like a good baby. What, love? I'm just listening to conversation. That baby you're talking about sounds like a fucking frog.
Yeah, but something stopped him saying it.
I just came back from America, and they love Halloween.
They're obsessed over there.
I mean, it's a proper thing out there. Here it's sort of half-hearted. A few middle-class families sort of
But do you think it'll get more popular here, though, if we do find out that ghosts are about?
Well, that'll never happen because they're not.
No,
okay?
but if they did, then suddenly that would be a big.
Well,
big day.
America makes things famous now because of film culture and everything. So yeah, it's all from that. I doubt we celebrated much at all, did we, 50 years ago? So I think it's crept up.
Certainly over here we didn't, but it's been largely introduced over here through commercial ideas, isn't it?
Yeah,
we can sell stuff for
and film and things like that. And but out there it was they start like weeks and weeks before, and they're decorated like proper. And but I saw a little bakery in Soho, and it didn't look right with cobwebs all over it and spiders on the buns.
Yeah.
But even though it's fake, it's just I don't think you should do it on a bakery. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a bit creepy.
That surely puts you off the product a little bit.
I always find it a bit depressing. Like last time I remember going into supermarkets and you see sort of these old women who in their 60s and they're doing this job they don't really want to be doing, but they've been made to dress up
as a hat. I know,
as a witch or as Cinderella, and it just.
Well, they could do it in like a morgue or something, just to sort of
brighten up the place.
Well, just so people aren't that scared.
Imagine that. Imagine you're going to identify your dead relative, and they go, "What's the spiders all over?" It's 31st October.
No,
oh, okay.
But just make it a bit spookier and have a bit of fun with it, and let's not get serious about, like I say, passing on.
Yeah, but those sort of people have to take their job seriously. I remember when my mum died, and I had to go along, and I was talking about what wreath they wanted, and this person, quite rightly, had to turn off their sense of humour in a way, because I suppose they mustn't offend anyone, so I had to. They spoke like that at all times.
Yeah.
At all times. Okay, and would you like the wreath to say? She was a mother and a grandmother. I went, yeah, mother, grandmother, and what was her name? I said, her name was Eva. I said, and I made a joke. I said, do we get a discount because her name's short? And she went, well, actually, didn't laugh, didn't get that at all. She just went, just answer the question. She went, well, actually, you pay by the letter. I thought, okay, that fell flat. I'll go again. I went, well, a friend used to call her E.
Yeah.
She went, I'm joking. She went, okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
Bad audience. Bad time, bad audience. Tough crowd.
Yeah, Undertaker's never known for their...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
their
They
laughter.
don't crack jokes, Carl. A friend of mine was trained to be a doctor, and in his first year, when they practice, they intern at the hospital, he was watching this patient, and two other doctors came in, and I won't say his name. They said, can you go and check on Mr. So-and-so? He went, yeah, and change his drip. So he went in, changed his drip, came back out. The doctors came, after about 10 minutes, they came running and said, what did you do? What did you do? And they went in there and said, I just changed the drip. He goes, well, he's dead. He's dead. He was going, I just changed the drip. I did this and that. And they started laughing. He goes, no, he was dead when we sent you in there.
Yeah. Now, that is almost excusable because it's imperative if you're a doctor
Absolutely.
to become accustomed to
Yeah.
the fact that people die and that it's...
Exactly.
you know,
yeah. So they were making a joke about a dead body that means nothing to them other than professionally.
Yeah.
You know, they were getting through it. He thought he'd just murdered someone.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Well, he thought he just killed someone. But yeah, they have to be desensitised. But they wouldn't do that in front of the relatives. They wouldn't go... I had a laugh earlier with a young intern. When your dad died, we sent him in to change the drip. Didn't even check. It was quite good. Anyway, let's get him out of here.
No, but they do have a laugh. I heard about a doctor who was working on a brain, right? And apparently, when they work on the brain, it's best if they keep you awake because you know, just so you can go, that hurts a bit, and they go, oh, best not touch that bit again.
That's
Right.
the reason, Rich.
Amazing.
That's the reason.
No, there is
It's
certain, there's
amazing.
certain operations, isn't there, where they go, you know, we can knock you out for that, but for this one we want to know.
It's probably because the
You're
brain needs to be
Activity.
active in order to...
Yeah,
to
they show
identify the thing.
activity,
But
yeah,
sure,
they-
yeah,
so
no, it's
anyway-
actually so you can wake up and go, yeah, no, that hurt. That stings. Oh, that stings. Don't pop that in there.
You can't feel anything in the brain anyway. No nerve endings.
Really?
You
What?
can't feel it, can you?
Well, maybe there's another reason, but anyway, his head's open. He's sat on this chair. The doctor's going...
I reckon he was laying down.
I thought he was laying down, but in your world he's not. He's sat on a hard-backed...
I think it's more
dining
like
chair.
in front of a mirror, like a hairdresser type thing, right? And he's cut the skin off.
So
Like-
can you get a bit shorter there.
so he's
Something for the weekend, sir?
he's-
Oh, I won't be shagging with no brain.
anyway, so he's cut the skin off and you know, chopped a bit, and you're always going to get bits, aren't you? Sort of. Whenever you cut anything, you end up with a bit missing. But anyway, somehow he does the brain stuff. He fixes it. I don't know what he was doing, but he
Don't you?
he
You don't
fixed
know
it.
about. You don't know
You
about
don't know
that.
the intricacies of brain surgery? That I find perplexing.
You're not a neurosurgeon. I don't want. Oh, okay.
So
go
they
on.
sorted out the problem, right? And he goes, right, all we've got to do now is stick the head bit back on.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, by the way. The head
Oh, this
bit.
happened. This happened.
Yeah, the head bit's connected to the face bit.
Yeah.
So he sticks.
Nurse, head bit. Doctor, do you need leg bit? Not yet, nurse. Head bit, then leg bit.
So they stuck the head bit back on, and then
Can you pass me the Sharpie thing?
he was trying to sew it, and he was going, "This isn't fitting. This." He's going, "I don't know." And you know, like because the
Right, if
patient's-
this turns out that
It's
it's
someone else's head.
or
No.
a toupee from the doctor next to him,
Yeah.
or a cat. Wow!
No, it's-
You've sewn a cat to my brain!
it's none of that. He's trying to sew it, and he's thinking, "Why isn't it fitting?" And he's thinking, "Is it because the head's swollen?" Because you know he's been messing about in it, and things
Yeah.
swell, don't they? And messed about
Yeah.
with. So he's messing with it. He's going, I don't understand this, and he's panicking a bit because the patient's awake and chatting and stuff, and you know, it's difficult to have a normal chat when you're panicking a
I
little
know,
bit.
there's a queue as well. People want their brain done. And they're just reading old copies of magazines. They're going, hurry up.
So
I'm going out tonight. Do you want to wash it? No, just, I'll wash it later. Just take it off, do the brain, put it back on.
anyway, what happens is he has to start rummaging,
To start rummaging.
sort of rummaging.
No! There's no N before the first G. Rummaging.
Well, he starts looking through the. He starts having a look through the bin.
Oh, what?
Because he knows he's chucked a bit away of the skin.
Right. Where is this surgery where a bloke's sitting up in front of a mirror and there's a bin? Is there a little basketball ring above the bin as well, so when he throws things it goes through there first?
I'm just saying that's what happened, and you were saying about things that happen, and you've got a joke about it.
So he's rummaging, and what happens?
He said to him, the fellow was starting to sense the nervousness, and he said, "What's going on here?" And he says, "Oh, you're never going to believe it. I've lost a bit of your skin.
Lost a bit of your head, yeah.
I can't."
Why did he cut? I don't understand. Why is there? Why is it in two bits?
Because things just break up, don't they? It's like chicken. When you see him walking around, everything's in place and it sticks together. You cook it, suddenly it all breaks up.
He cooked his face before he cut it out.
I'm just saying how flesh, it sticks together well.
Yeah, but he'd cooked the scalp before he'd taken it off his head.
No, but it's just an example of how skin can break up with the muscles and everything.
So he's rummaging in the bin, and does he find the head?
He found the bit, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry about that," and he sort of managed to stick it on.
Right, he didn't wash it off or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd give it a bit of a rinse. But I'm just saying how...
Nonsense.
You've got to make a joke out of stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, it's bollocks.
If you're a doctor.
Okay, that's good.
So where was the joke in that story? At what point I thought this was a story about how doctors have a sense of humour.
Yeah,
when did he make
at
a
the
joke?
end, he sort of laughed and he sort of said, "Oh, there you go, it's back on, but good job the bin men didn't come or whatever." And they made a joke out of it.
I've never heard such nonsense. I've never heard
just made
such
that joke up.
nonsense.